Hey everyone. Hello. Welcome to RAM Vibes, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining me. We've already got Quiet Money and Tasha in the house. Thank you all for coming here. If you are catching this video after the live, head on over to 4 minutes. You should know the drill by now. But if you are new here, stay tuned because I have an amazing message of self-realization. It's starting. It's starting. Hey. All right, guys, come on in. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Come on in. Hit that like button. I haven't had the notification go out yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to go out here any moment. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Elizabeth. Up there it is. All right, we about to get hordes of people. Let's go. Come on in, guys. Come on into the room. As per the norm, we're going to get started at 4 minutes. I already have a message prepared. Thank you to Spirit for having me be prepared, for having an entire lesson plan for the week. We're going to get started at 4 minutes. When I looked up, 1:11 on the timer. So that's awesome. Welcome everybody in. Thank you so much for joining me. Hit that like button on your way in just so that it lets the algorithm know, like, hey, this RAM vibe thing is pretty cool. Thank you. Now it's matching. I appreciate it. And then, of course, head on down to the chat and say hello. Good morning, Bridget. Good morning and loving RAM vibes to all. Good morning, Shy. Good morning. Welcome in to RAM vibes, everyone. Getting started at 4 minutes. I'm excited about today. Good morning, Heather. Thank you so much for being here. All right, guys. As soon as you write, let me tell you something. It has been this new moon. Guys, I had to do something really courageous yesterday. I was actually having a conversation with Heather from Tarot Gazing yesterday, and I told her, I said, listen, I got to stop. I got to get mentally prepared for what I got to do today. I did something real grown up yesterday, and it took a lot of energy. So, and then I went to bed at a decent hour and slept really good. Let me tell you something, though. Okay. Let me tell you. Well, I can't tell. I'm not going to divulge what I did yet, because the plans are still in the works. But trust that I am generally an open book. I'm not an open book about my present. I am an open book about my past. So when this comes to my past, I will let you guys know. I'm still learning about it. All right. I'm still elevating through it. But what was I going to say? I used to, like, before my nervous system was all out of whack, I had like the worst insomnia. I even had sleep tests done and all that, like sleep apnea, insomnia. Now I would wake up multiple times throughout the night to use the bathroom. Now I'm like noticing like I'm sleeping through the night. But what that means is Spirit has more time with me while I'm asleep, and they be taking me through school. Boy, I tell you what, I'm tired. I am so tired. Grand Rising, that crazy. Welcome in. Come in. Come on. My dog just barged into the room. This room has French doors. Hold on, guys. We're supposed to get started at 4 minutes, but this dang dog. Hold on. She just opened the door. All right, guys. You want to say hello to my dog, Robin? Robin, say hello to everybody. Say hi. Hello. For some reason, some people absolutely do not, and cannot stand it when tarot readers have their pets in the frame. I don't know what that is about. That is my familiar. Her name is Robin. I've got Cooper out doing Cooper. He does what he does. All right, guys. I guess we get started at 5 minutes. Good morning, Grand Rising, good afternoon, and good evening to the Aries Plus community. This is RAM Vibes. This is a morning session where I sit with the energy of how are we going to develop ourselves into who we are truly meant to be. All right, today's message is finding that authentic self through the guise of your inner child. That's what we're doing today. Finding your authentic self through the guise of your inner child. I'm going to start today with a couple of quotes. The first quote comes from one of my absolute favorite cult films, Princess Bride. All right. So Vicini tells Inigo, if the job goes wrong, go back to the beginning. If the job goes wrong, go back to the beginning. I'm going to the beginning. I'm going to the beginning down in the comics. I am going to the beginning down in the comments. Say, I'm going to the beginning. Here's why. When I was in the military, after we would do like a big project, or after we would go and deploy, or after we would go and do an exercise, which is like basically like fake deploying, or learning how to deploy, or learning how to, I was in the Air Force, like learning how to get the airplanes off the ground quickly, so on and so forth. We would always sit down with leadership. Everybody would do it. And we would do what's called an after action report. Right. And they do it in corporate as well, but they don't name it after action report for the most part. And so essentially what we're doing right now, as we're trying to learn how to be our authentic selves, as we're trying to learn about purpose, heal, and ascend as people, we got to take it back to where the job might have gone wrong. We've got to go back to the beginning. So, some people call it a hot wash. So right now, that's what I'm asking you to do. That's what Spirit is actually asking you to do, to take it back to the beginning and start evaluating where things started going a little bit awry. All right. So that's why I'm talking about today. And I talk about a lot on my channel about, okay, let's go back. If you're in a relationship and shit hit the fan and just out of nowhere, she left you or he left you, or you found out that they cheated on you, there was always clues. From the very beginning, there were always clues that might have happened. Generally, things don't just happen, right? Okay, so one of the quotes that I wanted to talk to you about, or one of the messages that I want you to really start kind of thinking about in today's session is, as a child, what made me feel most alive and free and at peace? As a child, what made me feel most alive and free and at peace before our brain fully developed? Like, let's say before the age of like 25, whatever science is saying, right? Heather says skating. That's awesome. That's a place to start. If you've just separated from dancing too, Shy. If you just separated from a relationship that you had to hide your true self from, or you didn't get to explore the things that really made you happy. Maybe you gave too much of yourself into this relationship and didn't have healthy boundaries, or know how to have healthy boundaries. This is what this lesson today is going to help you with. If you just left a super controlling family unit or cultural surroundings, and you just weren't able to self-explore, this is going to help you. And some people just don't know where to start. If you've been single for a really, really long time, but you're only just now waking up to the fact that you deserve more, this is a perfect place to start. I'm going to give you some examples. Like always, keep going in the chat. I'm already seeing multiple people like to dance. So we're going to have to all go to Chicago with Shy and start doing some Chicago two-stepping, stepping in the name of love. I don't know if I can quote that anymore, actually. You're going to have to let me know, Shy. Do we quote any of that album anymore? That Crazy says music. Bridget said, I love climbing trees and playing in the forest and cornfields. Tasha also says dancing. All right, so you and me, Tasha, are going to have to go up to Chicago with Shy and two-step. All right, so as a child, I was an only child. And there was a lot of quiet time by myself. And one thing that I absolutely used to love to do was to sit outside on the, if we were in an apartment complex, I would always go outside, sit in the grass or sit in the back porch. And I do remember very specifically, um, I would always find some animal like a ladybug or a roly-poly or a potato bug. I understand we have people from all over the world, or snails. And I don't know why I would do this a lot. If I found like multiple snails, I would put them on my arm. I don't know why I would do this. And I would like just watch them crawl up my arm and pretend that they were both in races. But that was something that I would always do. And when I was in the military, I found myself doing this. Like a lot of time in the military, you have to hurry up and wait. And especially if we were doing field things, like if we were practicing deploying or, building tent city or whatever it is that we would be doing out in the middle of nowhere, I would find myself sitting in the grass or sitting in the rocks and literally just playing with the grass or finding a bug to play with. And that helped me like center myself. And as I've been learning myself, I do that. You guys might hear that I go to parks a lot. Every weekend, if the weather is right, even if I have to change my schedule from going to the evening or going in the morning, I go to the park a lot, and I take my kids with me as well. Well, the oldest one begrudgingly, but still, I got a 5-year-old, so I can live vicariously through her. Or I go alone. As a kid, I spent a lot of time in front of the television. I love movies. And one thing that I started realizing is, and I remember this from one of my ex-boyfriend's moms, she told me, she said, you have to learn how to date yourself. And she and I would go to the movies and we'd go out to eat, but she would always talk about once a week, she would take herself to the movies and take herself out to eat. She had a spouse, but she was a homemaker. And that was the only time that she had once the kids went to school was to do herself. So I've started incorporating that as I'm starting to get to know myself, because I love going to the movies. I go to the movies. I take myself to the movies probably like once a month. I take myself to the movies, starting to get to know myself. When I was a kid, talking about purpose, let's talk about purpose. So I'm just giving you guys examples of like things that you could be exploring in yourself. I wanted to work in the food industry. I wanted to be a chef. And I got a scholarship to the Culinary Institute of America in San Francisco. Got a scholarship, but I didn't get room and board. So for that, because San Francisco is one of the most expensive cities in America, I didn't go to the CIA. I ended up joining the military, but it was always a bummer because I really wanted to be a chef. Well, I ended up going to culinary school while I was in the military, and I had 2 businesses of my own. I had a cake decorating or a cake business, right? Or I used to decorate cakes, birthday cakes and stuff like that, and special event cakes. And then I had a hot dog business, and neither of them worked because neither of them felt like they were truly me. But cooking is still a very important part of my life. Maybe I'm not meant to cook for other people. Maybe I'm just supposed to make sure that I provide healthy meals with love for my kids. So I've had to learn how to work with the failures of that, go back to the beginning and say, well, I've always loved cooking. I've always cooked for my family. I started cooking Thanksgiving and special event meals very young for my family. So maybe that's what I like to do. So even if you get it wrong when you start exploring some of this stuff, it's okay. That's why I keep telling you to go back to the beginning and have a hot wash or have a after action report. Okay, so it doesn't work if I cook for strangers. Got it. I don't even cook for potlucks. I don't even like potlucks. I think that shit is nasty. But if I have to bring food to a potluck, I will go to the grocery store, buy grocery store food, and then take that to the potluck. That just is what works for me. It's finding what works for you. Also, as a child, I wanted to be a cheerleader, professionally, and I wanted to be an actor professionally. Okay, so if we take a look at what I'm doing right now, which I truly feel is feeding my soul, am I being a cheerleader and an actor? Kind of, right? I'm always cheering you guys on. I'm always here saying hurrah. And if you've been with me for a while, I used to have Aries pep rallies that I would post online where I'm just hyping the collective up, like, you can do it, right? And I'm not acting being here, but there is something about acting and orating. So it may not look exactly like what it is that you want it to do as a child, but it might still have a nuance, an air of it making sense. So there you think, thanks, Tasha. No, do not, absolutely do not trust everybody's cooking. Do not trust that everybody has your best interest at heart or theirs. Some people don't even realize. What is her name? Khloe Kardashian says that she thinks it's funny that everybody had to learn how to wash their hands during the pandemic. So yeah. So essentially what I'm saying and what Spirit brought me here to tell you guys is, if you are feeling lost about where to go, if your nervous system is so shot that you don't know what makes you happy anymore, go back to what made you happy as a child. Go back to it. Even in the most dire and desperate of childhoods, there is still going to be a glimmer of something that brings you peace, whatever it is. Allow that to be a part and play a role in your adulthood as you start exploring more about your true self, right? Let's see what Spirit has to say about this. Spirit, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for bringing me in front of this absolutely wonderful community of people trying to elevate. Help me deliver a clear and concise and protected and loving message. Should anything negative come up, immediately return it to sender. I don't want it on me. I don't want it in my household, and I don't want it on the viewer. What is it that you want us to focus on? There it is. Temperance in the reverse. Lack of long-term vision. Spirit wants you to focus on where you might have lack of long-term vision, and that could be an energy of being stuck. Where do you feel stuck? Do you feel stuck because of a diagnosis? Do you feel stuck because of your financial situation? Do you feel stuck and not know how to get out, not have a vision of it, right? Do you feel stuck because of your job? Do you feel stuck because you're single still? Or do you feel stuck because you don't trust yourself to be in another loving relationship or other people? Where do you feel stuck and not able to feel your way through it or see your way through it? Where do you feel stuck? Lack of long-term vision. Where is it? Since this is, I'm going to take a page out of Heather's book, right? So since this is in the reverse, how can we temper that and bring it back into balance to where we are filling our cup with ideas and with grace and with love and with remembering remembering times when the world didn't seem closed off to your efforts? How do you find balance? How are you able to acknowledge the situation for what it is and give yourself the patience you need while you allow yourself this space to explore a different idea about that? And the upright, this is talking about purpose and meaning in life. And that's what we're talking about today. That's what we're talking about this week. Remember, the week's theme is, who are you? How are you going to find purpose and meaning in life? Let me get some advice from Spirit on this. Everybody said, interesting. All right. So let me get to this. Since it is a major arcana card, let me get one more card to go with this. Temperance, please, Spirit. Oh my God. I love that I'm connected. I love that you guys come here to, to watch the magic show. Oh my God. So the star came out, and that's have hope. Have hope. Learn to have a spiritual connection. Learn to have a daily practice, ritual to help ground you. Learn, stop it, please. Thank you. um, Learn that it is okay to open yourself up to possibilities of the universe enriching you, of the universe guiding you, of your higher self leading you and speaking to you, of your inner child still having a yearning and a wanting to explore the things that your inner child wasn't able to explore because your inner child was stifled in certain ways as a child or as a youth, right? So lots of healing with those two cards. Exactly. Lots. That's kind of like the energy of both of these cards. If they they're twins in a way, but they're not necessarily identical. Make sense? In the energy of hope and in the energy of healing. Spirituality is really big in the both of these. That's one thing that I'm getting off of it. And another thing is putting yourself out there. Do not be afraid to put yourself out there. Even if it's just you taking a look at you after action report, right? All right, guys, that's the message for today. I don't know why, but I feel like it's just like, what am I feeling? I'm just feeling that it's just like really, it's not heavy. It's not heavy. It's just like truth. There's like a lot of truth. And then when truth comes into the mix, it just plays it energetically. It smells different. It feels different when like you're sitting in a very truth filled energy. Hello, Scorpio season. Hello. That's what it is. Thank you. The depth of the Scorpio season. Don't be afraid, guys. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of death and rebirth in this season. Hello, Scorpio season. Thank you, that crazy. That's exactly what it is. That's what I'm feeling. It's like this sort of do not be afraid to look at yourself in your own eyes. Another Scorpio reference. All right, guys. Let's pray and get you all on your way. I do appreciate you all for coming. If you want to book tarot readings with myself, I am not offering them after the 31st of October. It's not happening. It is not happening. So if you want a personal tarot reading, take a look at the link in the description box, wherever it is on your device. If you've got time or if it's something that you've been wanting, I'm not going to be offering them after the 31st. I'm moving on to bigger and better chapters of my life. It's not that. It's just more that, if anything, you shouldn't be hanging out with people that stay stuck. That do the same old thing all the time. If somebody's always asking you, hey, you want to see a card trick? Pick a card. Then it's like, okay, you haven't learned anything else yet? Noted. All right, guys, let's pray. Let's get on our way. All right. Ancestors, spirit guides, gods, goddesses, ascended masters, angels, and higher level energies here for our greatest and highest good. Immediately, right off the bat, thank you. This energy, this message today has been an eye opener. Who are we? You've always been with us. You've always been by our sides. So, in this moment of us exploring the very beginning, remind us. Remind us in a very gentle manner, but still remind us. Each and every single one of us has a path. Each and every single one of us has a purpose. Each and every single one of us has it within us to realize happiness on our own without needing it from an outside source. But sometimes we are lost. Sometimes we cannot see past our own nose. So help us realize that we've got it within us to open our own eyes to our past, to open our own eyes to our present, and to open our own hope and realization and aspirations to a happiness filled future. Thank you for walking with us on this path. Open our hearts and our mind to your energies. Open our hearts and our minds to realization. Whenever we feel like we can't do, remind us that we can. Remind us of the stories of endurance and resilience and grit of those that have gone before us, those that once faltered but was able to pick themselves up. Remind us that it is not about how many times we have fallen, but about how many times we have chosen to dust ourselves off and keep going. Give us that message of keep going. Give us the message of love. Give us the message of it will be all right. Give us the message and the remembering that we are destined for greatness. We are destined for happiness. We're destined for joy, love, luck, abundance, and peace and prosperity. Thank you for this partnership. Thank you for all that you have done, all that you are doing, and all that you will do. Amen. And so it is, as above, so below, in divine timing and with divine flow. Thank you all so much for joining me today. What is tomorrow? Friday? Tomorrow's Friday. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I go live tomorrow, guys. I'm kind of slow with the readings on purpose. Like I was telling you guys, I know y'all just want to know. Like I know y'all just want to know, but I'm exploring a lot of future movement right now. That's what a lot, not even just in one sector, but I'm exploring a lot of future movement right now. So I'm taking the extra time to allow myself to do that. All right. But I will go live tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. Central Time, which is the same time as Chicago. And then we will also do our Ram Vibes to end off the Who Are We theme for the week tomorrow morning or my morning. And we'll do one more week of this and then on to new things, guys. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me. Bye, everyone. Have a safe day and evening. Sweet dreams to those of you all that are going to sleep. See you tomorrow.